Dr. Linus. This has been the episode that I have been waiting for the entire season. We finally get a Ben-centric episode, and honestly, I think this is the best episode we've seen this season so far. Then again, I probably am going to say that another 5 times before the season runs out. In the flash sideways, we see Dr. Benjamin Linus as a history teacher. He seems very different in this timeline. He's kind-hearted, caring, and loves to teach. Dr. Arts teaches at the same school as Ben. That is awesome. And John Locke makes a small but powerful appearance in this episode where he suggests that maybe Ben should be principal of the school since he actually cares for the students. We see that Ben lives with his father Roger, who is actually a nice old man. Roger's gotten pretty old and has to use an oxygen tank in order to breathe, which is why Ben is living with him so he can take care of his dad. So it seems that Ben, just like John, has a healthy relationship with his father in this timeline. Are we going to see more resolutions to the infamous daddy issues as the season unfolds? Roger happens to mention the Dharma Initiative, which confirms that Roger and Ben were on the island, but for some unexplained reason left before the island sank. Alex Rousseau is one of Ben's students, and actually one of his best students and a member of his history club. And I was really pleased to see Alex again. Ben seems really interested in making sure that Alex has a successful future. And after a tutoring session where he discovers that the principal has been having an affair with one of the school nurses, he teams up with Dr. Arts and tries to blackmail the principal in order to take his job. But the principal counters him by saying if he goes through with it, he will torch Alex's future, since she needs the principal's recommendation in order to get into Yale. And Ben gives it up. He doesn't follow through with his plan, and I was so happy that he made the right choice. And Dr. Arts was only helping Ben in order to get a better parking spot in the lot, and once he finds out that Ben didn't follow through with the plan, he got upset, so Ben gave up his own parking space just to shut him up. That was fantastic! Back on the island, Miles spills the beans and tells Ilana that Ben killed Jacob. So, Ilana does what any rational human being would do. She ties Ben to a tree and tells him to dig his own grave. Meanwhile, Jack and Hurley run into Richard in the jungle, who leads them to the Black Rock in order for them to help him commit suicide. Hurley takes on the role of the viewer by asking Richard if he is time-traveling, a Terminator, or a vampire. Richard, of course, says no to all of these, which pretty much means any theory that suggests that Richard is time-traveling, which is why it appears he doesn't age, has been debunked. I love Hurley so much. Apparently, Jacob gave Richard a gift. Whenever Jacob touches you, it is considered a gift, but Richard now considers it a curse. Richard says he wouldn't be able to kill himself even if he wanted to, and based on the way he's thrown around that dynamite, I imagine he really, really wants to kill himself. So when Jacob touches you, you are unable to age or kill yourself, which means that back in Season 3 when Jack was preparing to jump off of a bridge, that would not have worked. Nor would Locke trying to hang himself have worked either. Perhaps even Michael was touched by Jacob too. So, does that make everyone we saw Jacob touch at the end of Season 5 immortal? Immortal in the sense that time doesn't affect them. They can still get killed by other people, which is why Richard was always cautious around guns and stuff like that, but they won't age and they can't kill themselves. Inside the Black Rock, Richard says that out of all of his time living on this island, he has yet to return here until today. And he says this while he's looking at some chain cuffs hanging from the wall. I think it's safe to say that Richard was brought to the island as a slave on the Black Rock. Richard grabs a stick of dynamite and convinces Jack to light it for him so that it will actually go off. As soon as the fuse starts to burn, Jack sits down right in front of Richard, the dynamite between them. He says he just got back from the lighthouse where he discovered that Jacob had been watching him his entire life, and that he must have brought him to this island for a reason. And that reason is not to blow up there sitting next to Richard. This scene was absolutely amazing. It would appear that that long gaze in the ocean did Jack some good because this is the ballsiest thing he has ever done. I mean, when the fuse went out and Jack suggests that they try another stick, that is phenomenal. I can't even describe how much I love this scene. or this entire episode for that matter. Smokey appears to Ben and unlatches him from the tree. He says to make a run for it. There's a gun in the forest. He can get to it, get away from Alana, and meet him at the Hydra station. He says he's forming a group of people to leave the island forever, and he wants Ben to be in charge of the island after they leave. So Ben makes a run for it, and Alana chases him. However, Ben gets to the rifle before Alana has a chance to catch him. For a second, I thought Alana was going to be a goner for sure. But then Ben decides to explain himself to Alana. Now, I'm going to admit this, I would have been bawling at this point if it were not for the fact that my best friend was sitting on the couch watching it with me, so I had to restrain myself. But man, what an amazing performance from Michael Emerson. I mean, the amount of emotion that he put into this scene was just heart-wrenching. He says he'll go to Locke because Locke is the only one who will have him. And then Alana says the last thing that I would have ever expected. She says that she will have him. And then Ben follows her back to the camp. There are so many great things about this episode. I get chills just thinking about it. Ben is one of my favorite characters, and I have been waiting for this episode the entire show. Since they introduced the character, I've been waiting for them to establish good guy or bad guy, and I think that this is really setting the stages for him really turning out to be a force of good. I mean, there was just so many amazing qualities to this episode, including the classic Lost ending. The soft piano music playing while everyone is walking around on the beach, all in slow-mo. We see that Alana is still mourning Jacob, even though she forgave Ben and brought him back to the group. Ben is helping Sun set up a tent. Miles succumbed to his own greed by digging up the diamonds buried with Nikki and Paolo. And then from around the corner, Jack, Hurley, and Richard reunite with the group with hugs and handshakes. You cannot get any better than this. I love this episode so much, I can't even describe it. And then suddenly the music shifts for the classic Lost cliffhanger. Widmore is coming to the island. I called that 2 weeks ago. I assume he is coming because Jacob wants him there. And I'm starting to get the feeling that maybe we might see Widmore and Ben team up rather than fight each other. Who knows? Only time will tell. But whoa, what an amazing episode. I really hope that we get to see more episodes like this one. Ben's redemption at long last. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. Okay, Alex, enough with the cuddle time, you pansy. Let's cut to the chase. Let me know what you thought of Dr. Linus by leaving me a comment down below. And also, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, make sure you subscribe for future Lost recaps and movie reviews. And be sure to tune in next week for a recap of episode 8 entitled Recon. I'll see you guys next week.
I want to explain that I know what you're feeling.
No idea what I'm feeling.
I watched my daughter Alex die in front of me. And it was my fault. I had a chance to save her. But I chose the island over her. All in the name of Jacob. I sacrificed everything for him. And he didn't even care. Yeah, I stabbed him. I was so angry, confused. I was terrified that I was about to lose the only thing that had ever mattered to me, my power. But the thing that really mattered was already gone. I'm sorry that I killed Jacob. I am, and I do not expect you to forgive me because I can never forgive myself.
And what do you want?
Just let me leave.
Where will you go?
To Locke.
Why?
because he's the only one that'll have me.
I'll have you.